Yeah, dude, there have been times like I got a dinnerly order, and I ended up throwing out the last meal because I just didn't cook it in time. I just either got lazy or I got too busy. Like you said, I was working so hard, I was skipping meals. Because I work through lunch every single day. I don't eat lunch. Typically, I'll eat something. There's another question on here. What's your eating schedule? So go to that one next. What's your eating schedule? That's the next question.
Okay.
Eating schedule is I eat when I'm hungry, right? I cook when I'm hungry, and I think that's the best way to do it. The whole 3-meal structure to me is complete bullshit.
You think it's flawed?
I think it's very flawed. I think it's completely made up.
Well, if we're talking, like realistically, like how we were actually supposed to eat as humans,
it should be 5 small meals a day.
What do they call that? The paleo? There's so many different diets.
I forget. It's like the paleo diet or something.
Paleo.
But it's probably the best way to eat is you eat when you're hungry, right? It sounds so simple. It sounds so basic.
Well, we are creatures of habit, though.
Well, here's the thing. I understand the 3-meal structure because it just makes sense. Also because it makes even more sense if you have kids. Right?
It makes a lot more sense.
It makes life so much easier. You wake up, kids need to eat something in the morning. Breakfast is the most important meal for a kid.
You're like, listen, kid, I'm not dealing with this. We're not doing it the way I do it. When you get hungry, you're going to eat at these 3 different times.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. It's just so you can plan. Like for me, I live alone. I'm legally single. I can eat and do whatever I want.
I love how you just made that distinction.
Legally single. Yeah, I'm legally single. So when you have kids,
I love that. I'm going to start saying that, man. That's a good one.
Legally single is a great phrase. It's
you're
a great turn
phrase. Just in case my girl is tuned in.
Oh, she tunes into everything.
Yeah.
Although she doesn't listen to my wrestling podcast, where I get to talk shit, so it's pretty fun. Spoiler alert. But yeah, legally single, so I can eat whenever I want. But when you have kids, you gotta feed them, right? So it's good.
Yeah, I think that's important.
And they're very bad at telling you when they're hungry. So you gotta have structure.
What kind of kids we're talking about? Are we talking the babies?
Both. All kids.
Because I feel like kids, they're very, very talented at telling you they're hungry. Like, annoyingly so.
I guess. I mean, if it's only when you can't feed them. Only when you can't feed them. Like, you're in a car ride in Nebraska and there's no gas station for miles, and that's when they're hungry.
That is when they get hungry.
That's when they're hungry. You go, you should have eaten your breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I eat when I'm hungry. The 3-meal structure I think is bullshit. Mostly, I'll eat one giant meal at the end of the day, and maybe something small in the morning, like a bowl of cereal, a bagel, a few eggs, what have you. And then, because I work through the day. I'm working with Jill throughout the day. We work straight through lunch, and I can't really eat while I'm streaming live.
Right.
It's kind of difficult.
Right.
But yeah, I eat when I'm hungry, and it works. And I think I'm relatively healthy. I keep my dietary restrictions, and fasting. Fasting is big to me. I also believe you should do all of your eating in an 8-hour window.
That's another name of a particular. That's called intermittent.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting.
I definitely believe in intermittent fasting, and you should not eat after 8 o'clock. I try not to eat because that's how you gain weight and how you get fat. Whereas, like, if you eat something at like 11 o'clock at night and then go to bed, like your stomach is digesting in the middle of the night, and it's just like it's just very bad for you. Because most of your digestion should be done when you're awake.
Definitely.
I think. I'm not a nutritionist. Don't quote me on that.
Definitely. My eating habits, I'd love to say that I eat when I'm hungry, but I don't. I have a bad habit of ignoring when my stomach starts rumbling because I get very into my work.
Me too.
And hours will go by, and I will eat once the freight train hits me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like borderline. This is terrible. This is going out there. It's like, oh, this guy, he has a problem. Sometimes it's like, not every day, but some days when I get really caught up in my work, I'll be like lethargic, and it's like, I'm like, I don't even have enough energy to cook. That's when sometimes I eat. But I'd say I'm good with breakfast. and I'm good with dinner. It's usually lunch that gets skipped
Mm-hmm.
in general.
Are you a snacker? Do you snack?
I'm not a snacker.
I am also not a snacker.
I mean, the closest thing for snacks for me is like if I'm in a recording studio session and I didn't eat and I know it's gonna be a long one. Sometimes I like have some pretzels or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They serve a purpose. Like, I only snack at parties. Like, if I'm at a family party, it's a bowl of Doritos. I'll eat a shit ton of those Doritos. A bowl of Ruffles with some French onion dip. Ugh, the best.
My ex-girlfriend used to get pissed off at me because I wasn't a snacker. Because you go into a store and should pick up like all the goodies, and she's like, "You want anything?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, I like food. Like I don't I don't want some Sun Chips or like I like food. I don't like you know what I'm saying. Like,
this is just mouth pleasure. You just want to chew on something.
I mean, some people like junk food snacks.
Yeah,
like not that they eat them all the time.
Some people like healthy snacks too. Like,
or like snacks in general. Like I just like I'll. It's for what?
Although every now and then I'll walk into CVS or not Trader Joe's. I live next to a King's supermarket, and I'll just get that box of plantain chips, and they're salted, and they're delicious, and I'll eat pretty much the whole thing in 2.5 days. It's gone. It's a pretty big box too. Delicious. If I am snacking, every now and then I'll get some Nilla wafers. I love Nilla wafers. Like, I do have my go-to snacks, but I buy them very, very rarely because it's a waste of money and it's a waste of food, and it's just like they're not good for you, like, at all.
Right.
So yeah,
let's
make me hungry. I'm gonna have to stop and get food after this.
Yeah, and the thing is, while we're talking about this, I have not eaten today.
Yeah, I haven't eaten since noon.
I didn't eat today at all. I've been working since this morning. Situation where I had thought the session was an hour later than it was.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Oh no, not this one.
Oh, not this one. It's
no,
not my bad.
One earlier.
All right.
And I was like, I started scrambling, and I didn't eat. So I'm actually just living on coffee right now.
See, I also don't drink coffee. I do not drink. Can you believe that? I don't drink coffee.
Oh my God! If you did.
If I did, it might be a problem. It's like I got all this pent up aggression and energy and rage in my life. But I don't drink coffee. I'll sip Jazz's coffee. Every time she gets a coffee, I have some sips to see if I like it. And like 6 times out of 10, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean,
coffee's a waste of money to me.
You have to like the taste of coffee.
Yeah.
Personally, I cannot pride myself as a real coffee person because I've been negatively conditioned by places like Starbucks who put an obscene amount of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I could say when I was younger, I'd probably drink coffee that tastes like coffee. Now it's coffee candy.
Although I will say, anytime I go to a diner, I don't care what time of day it is, I get a coffee.
Why?
It's because it's just what I do.
Does it taste differently, or
dude, I don't know.
Or is it just like you obsessed over old movies with like detectives and
I don't know, dude. It's just like when I'm at a diner, right? I get breakfast food, and I get a coffee. Or if I'm out to eat at breakfast, doesn't have to be a diner. Like if it can be like a breakfast place, like an IHOP. I don't consider IHOP a diner. I'll get a coffee at IHOP.
Oh, I love IHOP.
I love IHOP. It could be 3 PM. I'll get pancakes and coffee.
I think I'm getting some IHOP tomorrow.
Oh.
I've been having conversations about IHOP, and for it to come up this much, it's just a sign.
Yeah, I drove by it on the way here. I was like, I kind of want some IHOP.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Christian, we can go get IHOP another day. Next question.